Dear children, welcome to new English class. Key to ease English. Hope you remember in 8th standard you have learned a lesson titled Rosa Parks Sat Still. ഓർക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ ഒരു കഥ? റോസ പാർക്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു ബ്ലാക്ക് ലേഡി ബസ്സിലേക്കായിരുന്നു. ബസ്സിൽ ക്ഷീണം കൊണ്ട് സീറ്റിലിരിക്കുന്നു, ടിക്കറ്റ് എടുക്കുന്നു. പക്ഷെ അവിടെ ഒരു നിയമം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, ബ്ലാക്ക് വുമണ് സീറ്റിലിരിക്കാൻ പാടില്ല, വൈറ്റ് വന്ന് സീറ്റ് ഒഴിഞ്ഞു കൊടുക്കണം. വൈറ്റ് പീപ്പിൾ കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ സീറ്റ് ഒഴിഞ്ഞു കൊടുക്കണം. ഇത് റേഷ്യൽ ഡിസ്ക്രിമിനേഷന് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ജാതീയമായ വിവേചനത്തിനെതിരായിട്ടുള്ള അതിശക്തമായ ഒരു സമരമായി മാറിയത്. ഇത്തരം ഡിസ്ക്രിമിനേഷൻ എവിടെയായാലും നമ്മൾ എതിർക്കപ്പെടേണ്ടതാണ്. കാരണം നമ്മുടെ ഭരണഘടന വളരെ വ്യക്തമായി പറയുന്നുണ്ട് റൈറ്റ് ടു ഈക്വാലിറ്റി എന്നുള്ളത്. എല്ലാവർക്കുള്ള അവസരം സമത്വമാണ്. ഡിസ്ക്രിമിനേഷൻ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ഒരു വിപത്തുമാണ്. ഡിസ്ക്രിമിനേഷനുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടുകൊണ്ടുള്ള ലോട്ട് മെനി ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ കെയിം ഔട്ട്. റോസ പാർക്സിന്റെ കഥയായാലും മായ ആഞ്ചലോയുടെ കഥയായാലും കേജ്ഡ് ബേർഡ് എന്ന കവിതയൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട്, ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് കവിത. അമേരിക്കയിലാണ്, അമേരിക്കൻ ലിറ്ററേച്ചറിലാണ് കൂടുതൽ വന്ന്. മലയാളത്തിൽ വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. മടപ്പുലയനാം മടത്തിൻ മുറ്റത്ത് മഴ പെയ്ത നാളൊരു വാഴ നട്ടു. വാഴക്കുല എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ഈ ചങ്ങമ്പുഴയുടെ കവിത. അതിലും അങ്ങനെ തന്നെയാണ്. ചങ്ങമ്പുഴ പറയുന്ന കഥാപാത്രം താൻ നട്ട വാഴയുടെ കൊലവെട്ടാനുള്ള അവകാശമില്ലാത്ത അവസ്ഥ, താഴ്ന്ന ജാതിയിലായി പോയി എന്നുള്ളത് കൊണ്ട് മാത്രം. അപ്പൊ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരുപാട് സാഹിത്യങ്ങളുണ്ട്. Now luckily we got a lesson in class 10 in the 4th unit, scholarship jacket. That is what I am going to discuss here. Be with me, listen to it. The scholarship jacket. The scholarship jacket. This is the title of the story. As I told, it's a story based on the schools and the location of the school. The small Texas school that I went to had a tradition carried out every year during the 8th grade graduation. It is having a big S, letter S written on the left front side, and your name, who is getting that one, will be written, the name will be written in golden letters on the pocket. So the title is disclosed. Title ഇപ്പം വ്യക്തമായി, the scholarship jacket. It is so we are getting a picture about what is scholarship jacket, where it is given, how does it look like. These three things are answered here. Okay, we are passing on to the next paragraph. My oldest sister Rosie had won the jacket a few years back, and I fully expected to also. So the writer's sister Rosie had won the jacket a few years back, and I fully expected to also, and the author also expected she will get it. I was 14 and in the 8th grade. I had been a straight A student since the 1st grade, and this last year had looked forward very much to owning that jacket. So she had been 8th grade student from 1st standard onwards, 1st grade onwards. So naturally she will get, she expected, naturally. My father was a farm laborer. My father, that means writers or the protagonist. My father was a farm laborer who couldn't earn enough money to feed 8 children. See, so when I was 6, I was given to my grandparents to raise. So 3 details we are getting. Her father is a farm laborer and there were 8 children. He doesn't have enough money to feed 8 children. That means how wonderfully the author is telling about the poor status of the father. He never used a word poor. Without that one, the reader is getting the image that they belongs to a poor family. So when I was 6, I was given to my grandparents to raise. So the father couldn't feed them. So she was sent to her grandparents to raise. വളർത്താൻ വേണ്ടി. Right? So the first thing we got the idea about the protagonist. Where does she study? What is scholarship jacket and everything we are getting. And she's good student also. We are getting idea. If I had been a straight, she deserved it. The reader is getting clear picture about the reader, that is the protagonist is deserving. അർഹതപ്പെട്ടതാണ് ഈ സ്കോളർഷിപ്പ് ജാക്കറ്റ് കിട്ടാൻ വേണ്ടി. How does it look like? It is given here. And now the authors or the protagonist's family position. 8 children they are having. They are poor, but the word poor is not used. And she was sent to grandparents to raise. So very clear way of introduction is given here. Okay. The 2 questions are here. What was the tradition followed in the small Texas school? Answer is here. What do you think about letter S on the jacket? Scholarship. S may be that one. Scholarship jacket. S that. So these 2 questions are answered. And here is Martha Salinas. As the author is telling about her own story, we have to understand a little bit about this. Born in 1949. So her age you can calculate. Is a native of Coalinga, California. It is in the US. She graduated in creative writing from the University of California at Irvine. The scholarship jacket is one of the several short stories Salinas has published in journals and collections. So we are passing on to the 3rd paragraph. There you can see, we couldn't participate in sports at all because there were registration fees, uniform costs and trips out of town. So even though our family was quite agile and athletic, there would never be a school sports jacket for us. This one, the scholarship jacket, was our only chance. So now she was telling about her family. They are agile and athletic. Very agile means ചടുലമായ വളരെയേറെ സ്മാർട്ടായിട്ടുള്ള മൂവ്മെൻറ്റ്സ് നടത്തുന്നു ശരീരം. Not old. We are quite agile and athletic. There would never be a school sports jacket for us. This one, the scholarship jacket. This scholarship jacket was our only chance. Why? Because the author was telling in the beginning, in 2nd paragraph itself, that she was sent to grandfathers to raise, and there were 8. Parents cannot feed them. So So here, to remit the registration fees and uniform costs, uniform and paisa, and trips out of town, that traveling, it also need money. So we don't have enough money, though we are agile and athletic, so we cannot enjoy. The only chance is this court. That is the thing. And in month of May, and imagine if this M is small letter in May will come. So whenever we are writing name of month, proper nouns, we have to use capital letters. In May, close to the graduation, that is the end of the course, spring fever had struck as usual with a vengeance. No one paid any attention in the class. Instead, we stared out of the window and at each other, wanting to speed up the last few weeks of school. So this area, it is quite familiar for us. Just before the Onam vacation or Christmas vacation or any other vacation, we won't be that careful in the class because the vacation is coming. So we'll be discussing, chatting, and we will be looking each other, we'll be looking outside, when will that day come and all these things. So same mood was there for this other also. I despaired every time I looked in the mirror. Pencil thin, not a curve anywhere. I was called beanpole and string bean, and I knew that is what I looked like. That really hasn't much for a 14-year-old to work with, I thought, as I absent-mindedly wandered from my history class to the gym. Another hour of sweating in basketball and displaying my toothpick legs was coming up. Then I remembered my PE shorts were still in a bag under my desk where I had forgotten them. I had to walk the way back and get them. Coach Thompson was a real bear if someone wasn't dressed for PE, physical education. She had said I was a good forward, even tried to talk grandma into letting me join the team once. Of course, grandma said no. So this paragraph is a bit lengthy, but it gives you the clue about our protagonist. How does she look like? What is her body structure? And this whole idea we are getting from this paragraph. Once again, we can go back to the month and everything I told during the time of vacation, wanting to speed up the last few weeks of school. So we all stared outside. Stared means looked out, that is looking constantly. തുറിച്ചു നോക്കുക. We looked outside of the window and each other, wanting to speed up the last few weeks of school. Why did they look outside? Somehow they want to pass the time. Now here starts. I despaired every time I looked in the mirror. Whenever I looked at the mirror, I was despaired. I was disappointed. When we are looking at the mirror, what will we see? We will see our own body. So my pencil thin, not a curve anywhere. Penkutiyanu. Very thin. So for them we are calling it as pencil thin. Not a curve anywhere. പ്രായത്തിലുണ്ടാകേണ്ട യാതൊരു കേവും വളവും തിരി ഒന്നും കാണാനില്ല ശരീരത്തിൽ. I was called beanpole. കുട്ടികൾ എന്നെ വിളിക്കുന്ന പേര് beanpole എന്നാണ്. And string bean, നൂലുണ്ടാകുന്ന വിളിക്കുന്ന പേരുകൾ ഉണ്ടാവില്ല സ്കൂളുകളിൽ. And I knew that is what I looked like. I'm very thin. That really wasn't much for a 14-year-old to work with, I thought. As I absent-mindedly wandered from my history class to gym. So, from the history class, she passed to the gymnasium. That is athletics. That is, they have to sweat. Another hour of sweating in basketball and displaying my toothpick legs was coming up. So, what is another hour? It is for games, basketball. And she was on the way to the basketball ground. Then I remembered my PE shorts were still in a bag under my desk where I had forgotten them. So my physical education shorts means trousers, knickers, were still in a bag under my desk where I had forgotten them. I had to walk all the way back and get them. So she has to go back to her classroom and take that PE shorts. Why she was very particular, this question is there. Coach Thompson was a real bear. Karadiyan. That is very strict. If someone wasn't dressed for PE, she had said, I was good forward. So that Coach Thompson had said I was a good forward and even tried to talk grandma into letting me join the team once. So she is a good athlete, she was telling, and coach was about to say that to the grandmother to get permission to get her enrolled in the school team. Coach Thompson was a real bear if someone wasn't dressed for PE. She had said I was good forward and even tried to talk grandma into letting me join the team once. Once she told that she will talk to grandma and to get her join in the school team. And result is here, of course, grandma said no. Grandma said no. We know the reason, because there is no money to join her, buying the registration fees and all these things, money they don't have, so they cannot join the school team. So we are before passing on to the 5th paragraph, we can revisit the up to 4th and we can try to answer the questions. This one, the scholarship jacket, was our only chance. Why